Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. This is me, Najia, Kamal. We are going to deal with the subject today, that is English Advance, and the topic that we are going to study is the Happy Prince, or the unit we are going to study. Let's talk about the author. Oscar Finkel O'Flaherty Wells Wild. He was born in October 1854, and he died in November 30th, 1900. So he died at the age of 46. Yes, quite not old, but not quite very young. One of his most famous, he is one of the most famous London's poet and playwright, famous for his novel The Picture of Dorian Gray, and his famous short stories are The Happy Prince and a House of Pomegranates. Now let's talk about the summary. Once upon a time there was a happy prince. Okay, we get it. This prince would not cry for anything and does not get sad. He made his castle wall really tall. So he's a happy prince. He has a castle as usual, and the walls of those castle or that castle are tall. The reason for it was to never encounter bad things or the things that will make him sad. The longer the walls, the longer he will be able to stay happy. He always wanted to smile and he could not stand crying. His people would envy him and wanted to be more like him. One day the prince died. They immediately made his statue to honor him. So he was a famous figure. He was ruling the country. So the people around him, or his well-wisher or his successors, they built a statue of him in honor of him. The statue was located in the highest spot in town and made out of gold. Oh, yes, the statue was made out of gold. Prince's eyes were made out of sapphire and his sword buckle was ruby, sorry. So it's these are the precious stones his sword was made up of. Happy Prince was surprised when he saw this new place. He was surprised what he was seeing from his new spot. He did not see anything because of his high walls in his castle. The people were not happy like him. On the contrary, everyone was in poverty and distress. Then, after his death, his statue was able to see the world because it was placed on the very top corner of the kingdom. And then he started watching that people were not actually happy with him. On the contrary, everyone was in poverty and distressed. When he was crying, a swallow landed on his legs, and then a bird came when the statue started crying, because it is migration time for the birds. The birds were about to leave, but a teardrop lands on its head. The bird was about to fly away, but then a tear from the eyes of the statue of the prince, it falls onto the head of the bird. Prince started to explain the situation to the bird. He tells the bird about the family's condition. In a house far away, the mother and her child were in misery, which means poverty and hunger. The child was in bed both hungry and has a fever. So the mother is in poverty and the child is not feeling well. Prince tells the bird to give the family one of the ruby eye, and then Prince tells the bird to get out a ruby eye from his statue and donate it to the or give it to the poor family. The bird could not migrate for this reason that time. It was the next day and Prince saw another house. A student could not find a fuel because he could not afford it. So there were high prices and there was a poverty as well. Thus he could not do his homework. Seeing this, Prince tells the bird to take his other ruby eye to give it to him. The bird did what he was told. Swallow wants to migrate but could not because it wants to help out the prince too. There was no longer a worthy thing in prince. In a meantime, Swallow is having a hard time. It has to leave this cold city as soon as possible. Swallow helped the prince again. In the morning, in the feet of the prince, Swallow freezes to death. The statue is now a worthless stone. Municipal congressman sees this and decides to remove the statue and melt the gold. Money coming from this was going to help build a new statue of a new mayor. So, what do we understand through this? Unit or through this summary, the happy prince is that people are going to admire you as long as you are precious, as long as you carry something. The day you get old, they are going to remove. A good replacement is going to come with the time. They melted the statue, but there is a lead heart left, which was thawless. So it means that it was unable to get melted. This heart was left where the body of the swallow located. God said to angels to bring two invaluable things from earth. Angel, bring the body of the swallow and the indestructible lead heart of the prince. So, this was the summary of the unit. I hope you have enjoyed it. I would like to have your suggestions about this video lecture. You can follow us through our email or WhatsApp. Thank you.